Hello, welcome to another episode of Right On Radio. Today we have a pleasure of having Kyle on here. Kyle O'Hara, or is it Hara?
O'Hara.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. He is from a local band from Edmonton called Desicrate, a thrash metal band. They have their first official release coming to streaming on July 12th, and the song is called Death at Last. So, yeah. Hey, Kyle.
How's it going?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. How's your day going?
Pretty good. Just chilling.
Nice.
Nothing really much.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good day.
Oh yeah.
How was your weekend?
It was great. As you probably know, I had our show, our return show back, which was pretty dope. Happy
Nice.
to the way it went. So yeah.
Nice. That's good. Where was it? I can't remember where it was at. Was it at Dive Bar or
Rendezvous.
Rendezvous Pub? Nice. I like Rendezvous.
It's a great. I love that place. It's just I don't know if you've ever met Calvin, the
Yeah.
owner,
Yeah.
but good guy.
Yeah, Calvin's cool. I really like Calvin. And just like the stage and like the atmosphere and everything is really pretty chill. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would
Nice place to hang out.
yeah, were you headlining?
Yeah, we headlined that show.
Nice. So I'm assuming you're gonna have some video and photo to post.
Oh yeah, there's some posted now. We have a lot more. We got a bunch of people send us video, which was awesome. But yeah, we have some more to post.
Nice. Can't wait to see that. So cool. Just and tell me about Desecrate. I mean, like, how did you join the band? When did you join the band? What kind of situation did you find yourself in when you joined? Where was the band kind of
Hey,
at?
so this is a long story, but basically the lead guitarist and vocalist Kelton and I have been best friends, pretty much like brothers since we were in like grade seven
Right.
at the time. Um, and we had different bands. It was kind of like garage bands. And we would put on garage shows, and he would always need the drummer. I would be the drummer, and we always had we had like five different stupid little bands that obviously no one really knew about. And yeah, so Kelton joined, or so. Oh, sorry. Um, there's a band called The Usual Suspects. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard of them, yeah.
So Kelton went and watched The Usual Suspects one time, and the lead singer or the lead singer and guitar player, named Logan, he met there, and he was obviously like they connected or whatever. And Kelton asked Logan if he knows anyone that's trying to open up a band, and Logan's stepbrother Gavin was starting up a band called Phantom at the time. So Kelton joined that, and then they got a bass player, and they were struggling for a drummer. So they they tried to have a couple people in. They had some auditions, and Kelton would just text me being like, "Man, this one was a cocaine addict, and oh, this one was more into Motley Crue than our genre." So I think one night I just sat here and was like, "Fuck it," and I texted Kelton being like, "Hey, let me audition." And Kelton was like, "I'll send you the set." So,
Yeah.
anyways, we went. Kelton didn't send me the set, by the way. I'll just have you know that. And
Right.
I showed up to audition a couple days later with nothing. Like I just sat there, and they're like, "All right, let's do Death at Last," for example.
Yeah.
I was like, "What is that?" So, it was really rough, and I was actually nervous about it because I was like, am I gonna not be able to join this band? But they took me in. They said, "Hey, we'll give him a chance. He's decent." So, anyways, after I got some practicing in, then I knew I was officially in, and yeah,
Nice.
formed in 2023. First show was kind of like a basement Halloween party thing. So we did that, which was dope. But our first like official show was actually Rendezvous Pub. You
Nice.
can see it back there.
Oh, nice.
That's our old logo. We had a band from Saskatoon come out and we played, and yeah, that's pretty much where it all started.
That's cool. Was he like trying to like he didn't give you the set list, so was he trying to like be a dick or was he trying to like test you?
If you ever get to meet Kelton, you'll understand. You don't know if he was either being just forgetful, or just trying to be an asshole. It's up in the air.
I'm sure he didn't mean anything personal by it.
No, I didn't mean anything personal. I think Gavin and the old bass player definitely were like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" But
Yeah,
after a while, I figured everything out, which is good.
that's good. And that other guy was it. That other guy was into cocaine and Motley Crue. Like,
Yeah, the previous drummer they had was
uh,
into cocaine and Motley Crue,
so it,
and they were like, "This is not the guy."
so he was more into doing cocaine and dressing up like a hooker. In the beginning.
Exactly. You know it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, it sounds like you. It sounds like you got wrapped up in a pretty okay situation joining the band. Then.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. We created a really good friend group with it, and we all just worked together hard to figure out what we want to do with the band. So yeah, it was good.
Nice. It's nice to have a chemistry and good flow in a group.
Yeah.
How many members are in the band and who plays what?
Okay, so we have Gavin Leach. He's our rhythm guitarist. Great guitar player. I've He blew my mind the moment I met him. We got Kelton Goldsworthy on vocals and lead guitar, which I've known Kelton since he was young. So I've seen him kind of grow into like how he plays guitar now. Then we got Ethan, our new drummer, is well, I just said he's the new drummer, but unfortunately, he is out of town doing some work, so we've had to find some fill-ins for the summer shows. Then once he's back, we're gonna rip the stage, become really active, and yeah, and then we have me, who is the bass player and backup vocals now. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. Did you? I know you asked me, and I haven't really gotten back to you about a fill-in for the summer, which I apologize for. But did you find somebody? It sounds like
I did. Yeah,
yeah, that's good. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, nice. And
Our
then
fill-in. Well,
go ahead.
oh, never mind. It's all good. I was just gonna bring up our fill-in drummer is a nice guy. His name's Jackson. He's a good shit.
That's sweet. What kind
Yeah.
of music would you say Desecrate sounds like? I know it's thrash metal, but is there like kind of more of a spin to it, would you say?
Ooh, fuck! I should have thought about questions before we did this.
It's all good, man.
I would say, yeah, a little bit of thrash mixed with old school death metal in a way. Um, we switch it up every show is a different set list in a way. So we always it can be whatever. We've covered death, like the band Death. We've covered Megadeth. We've covered Deftones. We've covered we like it's always up in the air what we are. So I would say if we had to give my thoughts were a thrash metal mixed with old school metal.
Nice. That's sweet. That's kind of like one of the it's kind of one of the better kind of genres or twist to it, right? I think so.
Yeah, the old guys love it.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
old school. You can never go wrong with old school. You can't argue with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you guys do a lot of covers then, hey?
Decent amount. Our return show, we only did one cover. We
Yeah.
thought we thought we could fill the set with just a cover that we wanted to show. We came up with the cover Rain by Trivium. We thought that would be a dope way to enter back into what we were because we were off for so long recording and finding a drummer and all that. So we thought Rain by Trivium would be cool to open up with. And then we just played our songs for the rest of the night. And yeah, I would say beforehand we did do a lot of covers and it was fun, but it's more fun when you have the feedback of your own music than the covers.
Nice. Yeah, I understand that for sure. Like you want to play your stuff to people, and you want them to hear it, and you want them to let you know how they think about it, right? You want to,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Do how many songs do you guys have written?
Okay, let me count. Six.
Six. Okay, nice. So are you? Because I know you have that one song, "Death at Last," coming out on July 12th. Did you guys record?
Yeah.
Did you guys record all the other ones, and are you going to release them, or what's the plan with all those other ones?
So for the single Death at Last, we actually put two songs on that. So we put the song Death at Last to start, and then we put one of our more chill songs. It's
Ooh,
called 15702, just to like kind of you can have either us screaming at you or you can have us putting you to bed in a way.
I like that. It's a cool contrast.
Yeah.
I mean, I was already excited to check it out. Now I'm even more excited to check it out. I want to hear that other song now.
It's
That sounds dope.
it's good. I'm excited.
Nice. What was the writing and recording process for the songs like?
It was difficult in a way because, well, especially coming from my point of view, I've never really played bass often. I played bass just like for fun, and then once it came down to I'm seriously playing bass for a band, it became a little weird, and we did a couple practices with Ethan, and then we talked to him, and we decided we're going to record the two songs and release them, and for everyone it was like a couple takes or whatever, but me it was more so a lot of takes, which I was more happy with taking a lot of takes rather than just trying to get it first go, because obviously when you record a song you want it to be perfect. But the recording process was fun, especially if Ethan's watching this, he'll know because he had all of our files, and one day he went on his computer and they were gone, so we had to redo everything,
Oh shit.
which was fun.
Yeah.
But
If
yeah, I would say it was fun.
yeah,
We had fun.
nice. I guess sometimes that's life, eh? You gotta do things again, even though you may not want to, but it it breeds new challenges and new opportunities to learn, I guess. Or
Exactly.
however else you want to look at it.
Yeah.
That's cool. So did you guys record in like a studio or like a basement or
Basement. We Ethan has like this basement kind of studio thing that we recorded in.
nice?
Yeah.
What kind of setup does he have for recording?
I'm not a audio guy myself, so all I could really say towards that, um, mics.
Mike.
Mics and a thingy.
Mics.
That's all I really got.
That's fair, man. You guys gonna have a single release party for the song? The songs, I guess now.
Uh, we've talked about it, and we so when we first had everything done, we were going to have it released June 21st, which was our return show, because we thought it'd be dope to have our return show and the single released by that time. But things got in the way, and it just never really worked out. So we thought July 12th, which is the our next show coming up at Rendezvous, we thought that'd be cool to kind of the day that we release, we also have a show. So that's why we like guess we're kind of having a party. We'll probably party afterwards after we're done our set.
Well,
But
I guess that's what I meant by party, like out like a song, a show for the song.
it's the show isn't made for that, but we're gonna make it for that in a way.
That's cool. Nice. And then you
Yeah.
have all the other songs. I can't remember if I asked this or not already, but are you guys gonna do you have them recorded? Are you gonna release them this year, or what's the plan?
I would say they're not recorded, but to see them in the next year would be very, very like don't be surprised if they're out in the next year.
Cool. I'm excited to hear them. You
Yeah, they're
guys,
good. I didn't write anything from them, so
oh no,
well, besides the bass parts, our old bass player didn't what well, I don't know what how much I could say, but he wasn't the greatest, so I kind of put my own twist to it.
nice. How would you compare the rest of the songs to the two that are coming out next month?
The rest of the songs, we have another one kind of like the slow song, but then the other ones are more they're faster and they're more technical in a way, and they're more fun to play, which I had a blast playing them, and I always have a blast. I'll sit here and fiddle around with my bass, and it's fun. So,
Right.
but yeah, they're fast and fun.
Fast and fun. I like it. Have you guys only really played in the city, like, or have there been like road trips for gigs?
So our we had a plan for this summer to do a tour, and that was before we found our drummer. And basically what we were going to do is we were going to get him, and then we were going to hit the road and do all around Alberta. And we let him know about that, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, I don't see why not." But then obviously this job came, and he asked, he was like, is it okay if I take it? And obviously we're like, fuck yeah, man. Like that it was a pretty good job, good paying job for the summer. And all he had to really do is go out of town for it, which was the big issue. But I think yeah, with that, it's better to know that he's doing something good for himself and his future than him just saying no, I no because I just like I have my other bands doing this or whatever.
Yeah, it's just respectful to have transparency, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the first show, that show right there at Rendezvous, there was like probably 2 hours scare that I couldn't go to that show because I had work. But sweet talking the boss a bit, and then he allowed me finally after a couple of hours convincing. But
Sweet talking the boss, slip
yeah,
a little 20, you know?
I was getting to that point.
Fair enough. That sounds pretty cool. Um, what about that? You were mentioning the bass player, and there was a whole situation and a story to go along with it too. You mind
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a story. So for just to start this off, so it kind of gives you a little hint of what's going on. I can't say the old bass player's name due to legal reasons.
Fair enough.
So, um, old bass player used to play bass for us, and then later on, last what was it, like April of 2024, he joined the Usual Suspects.
Okay.
Um, anyways, yeah, long story short, Usual Suspects had a show going on at Rendezvous. Um, he decided to, well, he drove there, and he decided, as him being a broke guy that doesn't have money, just put his beers on a tab, and I don't know what his plan was because he probably had $5 to his name, but just kept putting beers on a tab, and next thing you know, we go outside and he's sitting in his car with his hands on the wheel and his sleeping on the wheel. We're like, what the fuck? And I'm just there because I want to go watch my buddy's band play. Um, and then yeah, basically after that we decided it would probably be best of us to take his keys away because someone that is drinking shouldn't have keys around them.
No.
especially when you got into it without us seeing and slept in there. So we
Yeah.
took his keys, things popped off, tried to get into scraps with all of us, got fired from the usual suspects for that, and then he got kicked out of Rendezvous,
Oh wow.
managed to sneak back in, and yeah, as soon as we saw that he snuck back in, we broke the news to him. He's like, you're done. And yeah, after that, that was a pretty tough time to come out of. That was probably one thing that was bad with the break in a way, is we had to kind of recover that and recover the names. So yeah, that was a tough time in a way, but hey, he's gone now and we're doing better than what we were with him. So
Get that fucking degenerate out of here, you know?
yeah, he's I don't know. I don't talk to him anymore. We've tried talking to him. We tried to make a compromise where we could still be in contact, but not like too much in contact. And he pretty much told us to F off. And then his mom texted me saying, if you don't delete the posts of him without, she'll sue me. She was saying she'll sue directly me, not the band,
Oh, wow.
directly me.
Wow.
Yeah. So
A lot of
that
drama.
was also a lot of drama that didn't really need to happen, but
Unnecessary
yeah.
dramas. Mom, he's a baby boy to his mom, so it seems.
Yeah, and he's 19.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, only 19 too. It seems like a bad apple that you want to stay away from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Calvin probably wasn't happy about that.
Oh, it was actually funny because I got word that, so obviously his car had to stay at the bar.
Yeah.
I got word that Calvin got a hold of his keys that we took and was, uh, yeah, he was just like, you got to pay your bill, and then I'll give you your keys. And so someone paid the bill. I don't know who it was. Definitely wasn't him because I don't think he's had a job ever in his life. So
Oh wow. Well, at least someone did. Maybe his mom.
probably his mom. If I have to make a good guess, his mom decided to help him out.
Yeah. Well, geez. Yeah, those are the best kind of stories that you. It's good. It's fun. It's it's an experience, but it's not something you want to be a part of. It's a memory. I don't really know.
Yeah, it was something else, but I mean, I'm just glad it's in the past and it's not affecting the Desecrate name. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm happy about is I didn't want that to get messed up.
Yeah, that's all that really matters in the end.
Yeah,
You got a story out of it.
exactly. We have something to tell people when they're wondering where he went.
Just say he was something else.
Yeah, he's next question. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, geez, you play drums first, right? Is your main
Yes.
instrument? Yeah. So, uh, what made you want to play bass? Did you say?
I was it was a long decision. It was the fact that I loved playing drums and I still go out and play the drums just because I love it. But it felt like it got to the point where I just didn't feel that connection with like the band in a way. And it felt like there could be someone else that could top me off in a bit and do something that I couldn't.
Yeah.
So obviously the last thing I'm gonna ever do is leave this band because I love it with my whole heart. So I basically just talked to Kelton about it, and he was like, "Bro, it's your decision. You do what you want. If you want to play bass, you're the bass position. If you want to play drums, you're still the drum position." And I thought about it, and yeah, I was like, "Yeah, it's time to make that change."
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because I got mixed up because you play two instruments, and then I thought That's when I mentioned I was like, you got your bass player coming on too, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, sorry. I did reread that and I noticed that I definitely should have reworded it a bit, but
It is what it is. So I was like, oh, the more the merrier. Why not?
yeah.
Do you as like an instrument, do you prefer bass more, or do you prefer drums more?
As an instrument, I definitely prefer, well, in general, prefer bass. It's more fun to me, and especially for the live setting, it's just like you get to see people finally for once, which is like I remember sitting out there for the return show being like, holy fuck, I what?
You can see
Because
you can actually see people and they can see you.
yeah, it was like, wow, people actually like it was almost weird in a way because I remember setting up and I looked out and I was like, why am I stand like shouldn't I be back there? And then yeah, it was weird. It was weird, but I definitely prefer bass more. I've had way more fun the past show than I did the last couple of shows as drums.
Cool, interesting. Um, I have a bunch of drumming questions here now. I'm like, I don't know if do I ask him bass questions or drumming questions?
You can ask whatever. I'm here.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. You mentioned you had some drumming stories to share.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, I don't know. There's I could bring up how I started drums and
Yeah.
all that.
How did you get into drums? How did you start?
So it's actually like kind of like a family tree thing. So my great uncle played drums in a band called I forget. It was like the something Diamonds. I forget. Um, that was my dad's mom's brother. And then when dad, my dad has two siblings, a younger brother, younger sister. Once they were born, my uncle, which is my dad's brother, took up drumming, and then my dad took up drumming, and then yeah, he played in bands. Obviously, we were in Vancouver at the time, so he was more in like the Vancouver scene and whatnot. And then when I was born, I I think it was just a thing where I was a little kid and I was like I want to be like my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, if you want to be like me, then you're gonna get up on that kit and you're gonna learn how to fucking play.
Yeah. That's
And then
good dad right there.
yeah, he taught me in a way when I was very young. I was probably like yeah 4 or 5 years old at this point. We
Okay.
sat in a townhouse in Vancouver and we had this little electric kit that I would just sit there and learn triplets, learn just basic notes and whatnot. And then I kind of, when we made the move to Vancouver to here, I was young. I was probably like, yeah, like I said, 10, 11 years old. Um, I fell out of it. We did have a drum room. Actually, this room was my drum room at one point.
Okay.
And I did play a bit, but then from like probably 12 till 15, didn't really touch it. Um, then I had a buddy from school ask me if I wanted to join a band, and it was like, I'll try. And it was the band was called Sachi Thanon, which was obviously super cool at the time. But
Actually,
yeah, we just it was yeah Sachi Thanon,
it's an interesting name.
and I didn't make the name. It was he was like, hey, we're going to name this Sachi Thanon. I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever, man. But yeah, so I kind of got back into it. I saved up my money, collected bottles and whatnot at a young age to get myself a new drum kit. Then we played for a bit, and I remember sitting there one day, and well, to give a backstory, Sachi Thanon wasn't a metal band. It was more like 60s rock in a way, like CCR. It reminded me a lot of CCR.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was cool. It was fun at the time. But I remember sitting there like I want something heavy. And then that came to the thought of Kelton. This is actually I'm actually bringing up how I became friends with Kelton. So I hit up Kelton on Instagram being like, "Hey, I want to play in a band that's heavy." And he was like, "Well, I have a band right now and we have a drummer right now, so I don't know if we can really do anything." I was like, "Shit." And then all he really told me was like, "What? Never mind, fuck it. You're going to be the drummer." And I was like, "All right." And then I think the next day he came over and we jammed a bit, and then we instantly got a connection to each other, and just not even music way, we were just tight.
Nice.
And yeah, we created a band called Decapitate.
Mm. Kind of
Yeah.
typical metal name.
Yeah. And then also added to that, we quit that band and created a band called Hellhound. And then we quit that band. We created a band called Catacomb, which was started our garage band days. And then we quit that band and then we joined a band called Schism. And then we quit that band and now we're in then it was Phantom at the time. When I first joined Desicrate, it was Phantom, and Kelton made the name Phantom.
Nice. That's cool. I was gonna think of another band name. If you join another band, you could call it "Decapitate the Hellhounds in the Catacombs,"
Just put them all at once.
all in once. If anybody's out there, don't steal that name. We have it. We have it.
I better not see it.
Oh, well, that's cool. It sounds like you had a pretty good uprising, pretty good story into how you became a drummer, and you had a family that really wanted to inspire you and push you, but didn't really seem overbearing too. Kind of let you do your
No.
own thing, which is nice. Kind of guides you, but you
Yeah.
you have a choice with it.
Yeah, that's one thing with my parents I've always appreciated, and I'll always appreciate it as much as it was probably annoying hearing the garage go off all day of me trying to learn how to play Pantera, or me sitting down here even just now playing my bass or playing guitar, messing around. I've never had a complaint from my mom, never had a complaint from my dad. They're very they're very happy with that. I to have something to do, have a hobby to pick up in a way, you know?
Yeah, I understand that. My parents were like that too. I mean, they complained when I was, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it complaining, maybe just more annoyed when they would hear the same thing over and over again that I was trying to record and I wasn't getting, right?
Yeah,
That's
I know what you mean.
yeah. But yeah, they were always, yeah, they were super happy and just that I had something to kind of be happy with and kind of pursue a little bit on the side as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the best kind of parents. It sounds like your parents were great in that sense as well. So that's really cool.
Yeah. It's always good to have parents that are supporting you through everything. They come to shows all the time, which is great. Even if they hear the same song over and over again, you still see them coming out to support, which I always will appreciate.
That's awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
do you have, well, obviously, I'm sure you have favorite drummers that you can think of off the top of your head. What are they?
One comes to mind is the Rev,
Mm,
Avenged Sevenfold. That one's a pretty cool drummer. I remember growing up and just being like, "Holy shit, this guy's cool."
yeah,
Um, Thought that he would like backcountry. I don't know why, but just the way he was like it's just the way it sounds when you're young. You're just like, how can he move his hands that quick?
yeah,
That was one that one definitely was one of the big ones that I was a fan of when I was a kid. Uh, Dave Grohl, as much as he's now a guitar player, growing up, I did have a Nirvana phase,
okay,
um, which was cool. But I liked Dave Grohl. I liked the things he'd come up with, not even just in like the band Nirvana, but just like you see on Instagram. can go up there, even that the age he is, and mess around. That one's a good one. And then I think if I have to give my all-time inspiration to drums, I would have to give it to Vinnie Paul.
Yeah, a lot of people would say the same thing.
Yeah,
Vinny
it's
Paul's
mainstream, I get it, but
yeah. Vinny Paul's he's awesome. He's a great drummer. He kind of revolutionized the style and inspired so many people, right? And you can't go wrong.
yeah,
Yeah. He kind of gave new life to metal too, I would say. Metal drumming. For
yeah,
sure. Like it sucks that, the Rev passed away, obviously, but I think you could just tell even with the Rev, like he was just so passionate and he was like always getting better and better at each album too. Like he just never stopped.
oh yeah,
Yeah, you could just tell how much he loved drumming. And then with Dave Grohl, it's the same thing. He's just so passionate that I don't think he would ever stop playing music unless he physically couldn't. And just his drumming is just, his drumming is not like out of this world with anything, but it's so musical. It's something that you can't find with anybody else. He has just such a different,
yeah, exactly.
he's a different sense for it or a different, I guess, mind for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, do you have like a favorite band, like a thrash metal band, like a favorite, like a band that you love the drumming for the most?
Um, One band I've always loved the drumming for, and will fucking I can barely play them myself, is Trivium.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Okay.
Um, and then just like just bands in general, this is gonna sound so bad because I'm a thrash metal drum or thrash I'm in a thrash metal band, but the band I Prevail I've been catching on to them recently, which is cool. Like I don't know if you've heard, but they came out with kind of like a death metal song. But
I haven't
yeah,
I haven't really listened to too much I Prevail. I'm more into like Currents and Architects kind of like Wage War and stuff like that. I do like I Prevail, like I do like some stuff by them. They are good. I will
yeah,
definitely say. But what do you like about the drumming and Trivium so much?
it's just the doubles really, just the doubles in general was what I first caught my eye to. Just like sitting there thinking, how can you sit there with your feet going like this for that long and just not give up? And I remember when I first joined Desicrate, I that was when I had to figure out how to play doubles. Like before then, I played doubles at a buddy's house once, and that was about it.
Yeah,
I remember sitting in here just moving my feet, and I remember listening just to trivia and being like, "How the fuck does he fucking do it?"
start to make sense of it sometimes.
Yeah,
Cool. I think it's a good place to end it. We're almost out of time here. So thank you for coming on and talking about your band, Desecrate, and really appreciate it and talking about your drumming. I'd like to have you back on if you're open to it to talk more,
100%.
get more insight on what you're all about. So if you're watching, go follow Desecrate on Instagram. They got 2 songs coming out July 12th, and they have a show at Rendezvous Pub on July 12th as well. So check that all out. It's fun. And I don't know what else to say other than right on. Right on.
Thank you for having me.
Cool, man. Take her easy and enjoy the rest of your week.
You as well. Thank you, man.
Take care.
Take care.
Death that you will